Hello, welcome to my sofa in my living room, and if you're new here, welcome. If you aren't, welcome back. So here's the thing, I'm disabled, and for a really long time I didn't want to use that word. I once had a conversation with a friend who has one of the same chronic illnesses as me, who said that they didn't want to identify as disabled because it made them feel rubbish about themselves. They didn't want to feel like they were labelling themselves in a way that suggested that they couldn't live a normal life, that they couldn't do the same things everyone else can do. They didn't want it to get in their way. And it's a message we're given a lot of the time as people with chronic illnesses. Oh, don't let it stop you. You can do whatever you want with your life and with your day. Here's the thing, sometimes you just can't. And that is why I want to start using the label disabled, because it's what I am. I don't mind if people use person first language, the person with a disability as opposed to a disabled person. However, I'm finding it really useful to actually own that word. Own the word disabled. I have fibromyalgia, which causes chronic pain and fatigue. I have type 1 diabetes, which means I have literally a robot organ strapped to me. And I also have depression and anxiety, which means that I am really, really good at beating myself up about the things I cannot do. However, I am choosing to see disabled as a positive thing, as a part of my life that is not going to go away, but that is not necessarily a bad thing. And that is hard because there are several models of disability that put the onus on the disabled person. So there's the medical model of disability, which is body-centred. And you'd think, like, for someone with a chronic illness, this is really useful on the outset because it's based in fixing the inside. It's based in going to the doctors, getting medication, going to hospital, getting treatment. However, a couple of problems with that. If you have something that is not going to get better, eventually they will say there's nothing more we can do for you. And that isn't ongoing care. That is essentially saying, I give up. It's paternalistic, and it's the model that has led to people with long-term mental health, learning difficulties and physical impairments being literally locked inside hospitals. So, not great. There is the Biopsychosocial Model, which is really hard to say, but it's sensibly named because it's about the interplay between your brain, your body, and society. This means that there are things we can do to change our thought patterns and our behaviours that will help. There are medications we can take, and there are things that society can do to help us. However, this model has been used as a cost-cutting exercise by governmental departments in order to reform welfare and essentially say that people who can do things to help themselves should, because only those deemed most worthy, most sick, most disabled, because we love a hierarchy apparently, are worthy of getting help. That's a wee problem. And often people will say, oh, it's all in your head. I once had a doctor tell me that he thought everyone had fibromyalgia to a certain extent. And no, doc. No, they don't. Not everyone struggles to walk for more than 5 minutes without their back hurting, their legs hurting, their hips hurting, without feeling like they're going to fall over or pass out because they're so knackered. And my other favourite thing about the biopsychosocial model is people asking me if I have tried yoga. I have. Still disabled. The third model is the social model, which is the idea that society is not set up for people who are not able-bodied, and that if we changed things in terms of access and in terms of attitude as well, then we could seriously improve things. The social model is based on the concept of equity, which is that rather than giving everyone exactly the same, we give each person the things they need to put them at a level playing field. whether that be medical help, mobility aid, ramps, lifts. If we gave the most disabled person exactly what they needed and gave everyone some of those same accessibility tools, the world would be so much easier to navigate for disabled people. Now, of course, this doesn't encompass all disabilities. Some people just don't need physical mobility aids or access. However, it's a really, really kind model. And it also doesn't focus on fixing the person. As I said, some disabilities cannot be fixed. And nor should they. It's a model that celebrates diversity, which I think is so important. Rather than trying to repair someone to what we deem the optimum human, why not celebrate the fact that we're all so different, and that if we made the world a more accessible place, it wouldn't matter whether disability was visible or not, because we would all just have an easier time of it. At the moment, a lot of people don't have an easy time of it. And disability, like the word disabled, scared me because, well, partly people don't have good manners. That can go from people standing out a disabled bathroom, looking you up and down and saying, well, you don't look disabled. And it leads to a lot of self-doubt and questioning, am I disabled enough to use these facilities? To which the answer is, I think if you think you are disabled, if you're even asking that question, yes, you are. Go ahead. But the other extreme of that is somebody seeing an ambulant wheelchair user stand up and reporting them for benefits fraud, when actually mobility aids are as much for prevention and management as they are just for people who are totally paralysed. And that disbelief of disabled people is a real problem, and a really frightening one. Internalised ableism is another thing that really scares me, and I think by identifying as disabled, I am slowly starting to dismantle that. All the messages that we absorb from the world around us about what disability is really affect disabled people feeling useless, feeling worthless, feeling a burden, feeling like you're not disabled enough, as I said earlier. That is really hard, and I don't want to feel like that. So I want to make disability a positive part of my life. It means access. It means having a adjusted baseline, acknowledging that anything you do that is above and beyond what your body is sometimes capable of is a massive plus. Shoving the issues under the rug and pretending that I'm fine, that I am an able-bodied person, that I can just do what everyone else is doing all the time, and then beating myself up when I fail to live up to those massively high standards is just not working. And actually, by owning the word disabled, I am changing my own thoughts and feelings about my body, which frankly, poor old thing, goes through enough as it is without me laying it on thick and fast with the guilt, the ableism, negativity. So although sometimes you do feel like you want external validation, you wish someone would just send you a card that says, yeah, you're right, you are disabled. For now, this is going to have to be good enough. You are good enough, even if you are disabled. It doesn't mean you're useless. It doesn't mean you are a burden. It means that there is a community there for you and you are not alone. You're not alone. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you are disabled, if you identify as disabled, as a person with a disability, put a little wave thing. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. And please feel free to subscribe. I think this is probably disability activism, so if you're up for more of that, please do subscribe. And I will see you all very soon. I hope you have a wonderful week, and may the spoons be ever in your favour.